Good afternoon. Well, so if you have some problems with the sound, please write it in the chat and we could solve it if we can. Well, we are talking about gamification and especially about gamification didactics in massive learning. Last year, 1 year ago, we talked already about this topic, and there is a recording available for everybody if you want to enlarge or to take some other ideas. Well, today I'm to talk about gamification. I have invited not a specialist, but the specialist. Here it is with all of you, Note. Note is a boy, and Note is our specialist to talk about gamification. Full name, Note Paul. You can talk to him. You have just to write in the chat, and so if he says hello, you can answer to him, and you could write in the chat to talk to him. Okay, and so he's interacting with you. Hello, hello, hello. It's a pleasure for me to share with you. Your presence here is very important, so it's a pleasure for me to have you here. Well, you are helping me explaining what is gamification and how we could use it in MOOCs. Firstly, we are analyzing the John Joswell talk of yesterday. Hello, John. I've seen you. You are connected here. So we are analyzing very briefly your talk of yesterday. In your if you don't agree, you could also say it. I think in your presentation there are two kinds of elements or of parts. The first one could be a set of elements essentially transmittive, so transmitting information, explaining concepts, ideas, data. But there is another part very interesting for me, that is the interactive part. When you were asking some questions, or when you were asking valuations, okay, of some concepts or ideas. So, as I understood the gamification is very related to this kind of elements you have used yesterday. So it's a very good point to start, starting from our experience of everybody who was yesterday participating in the talk. Well, so firstly, we are asking to people who are listening today, watching today this talk, which is the meaning of gamification, a good idea of Note. Well, so as we have a chat, it's very easy to collect your suggestions. So we are asking you, to everybody, tell us in one word what is gamification for you. Okay, but don't try it. To avoid everybody is reading the ideas of each other. We are counting to 3, and after I count 3, I say go, and you send your idea. Okay, so only I'm asking you to write in one word what is for you gamification in one word. You write it in the chat, and when I say go, you send your work, okay? So you write what is for you gamification in the chat. 1, 2, 3, go. And as you see, we have some suggestions: manage game, play, fun, okay, competing, interactivity, curiosity, interactivity, playful, joy, playing, opportunity, ludic play, playful, game elements, learning. Okay, that's right. So quite all your ideas are useful for our explanation, and you'll see we are explaining and we are using them during your our explanation. Okay, so to understand better what is your definition, we need a definition to understand better what is gamification. And then we are using, during this talk, also some strategies and some ideas of gamification. So this is the detailed definition. It's 2011. And as you see, note it's with blanks. Using blanks, that means mutilating the text is to keep attention, okay, to pay attention, because you have not all the information. So in this case, we could give directly the words, okay, but it's better if we try to also to collect your ideas, your suggestions. So please, firstly, I'm asking you take a screenshot. Screenshot is very easy with the print key, or if you are in a computer with Shift, Command, and number 4. And so after you could paste it in Paint or in any software of drawing software, also directly, you can paste it directly in your word processor, okay? So if not, we play directly with it. And the 4 words we suggest to you to write in the blanks are elements, use, context, and design. So as we have done before, I'm asking you to write for each blank which is the word you suggest, okay? So you can read the definition. Gamification refers to something rather than the extension of something, rather than game-based technology or other game-related practices. A word rather than full-fledged games, characteristic for games, rather than play or playfulness in non-game, and another word, regardless of specific uses, intentions, context, or media of implementation. So it's quite complex, but as there are only 4 words, I think we could solve it. Okay. So for the first blank, you are writing 1 word, and with your suggestion, we are evaluating if it is or it isn't. Okay. So you could choose among elements, use, context, and design. For the first blank, you have to write 1 word, only 1 word, okay? So you write it, 1, 2, 3, go. Write it in the chat. Well, most of answers are use, okay? It could be use. So I'm writing there use. Sorry. Okay. The first one is use. And after, the use of something rather, it says, rather than game-based technology. Okay, so if we have already used use, okay, sorry, I'm trying, okay, so use is already used. And so now we have to choose about among elements, context, and design. Okay, so you write the first one of these words. Anna, Patricia, only one word at each time. Okay, so for the second one, you have to choose one word among elements, context, and design. Okay. Think about if this is the use of this element and with combining with another word who is just there. Okay, so now you write one of them. Go, yes. Elements, okay, that's right. So I write here elements. Okay, and so to the use of elements, well, it isn't, we have to change. It could be. Okay. You'll see why it can't be. Okay? Because in English, the order of the words in English can't be elements design. It has to be design elements. Okay? The design rather than game-based technology, elements rather than full-fledged game. So the first word here is firstly design, here, and here elements. And if you see in English, it's better talk saying previously, sorry, I'm not able to write. Okay. Design elements. Okay, and the last one only could be context. And so we write there context, if I able. Okay, context. So it's not very clear, but we have another screen with the definition. Gamification refers to the use of design elements, characteristics of games in non-game context. Okay? We had some problems with the order of words. Okay, so the first one can't be elements, as I was saying. Okay? Well, so, oh yes, you are right. Gaming is not playing. Okay, that's right. And oh, it's right. Okay, gamification uses only parts. According to this definition is from Didactics in 2011. According to this definition, it's right. There is gamification could be only using elements, that means parts, and it's different gaming to playing. To understand or to analyze this relationship, we are drawing two axes. In vertical one, we are analyzing playing and playing. Playing and gaming in the first one. And in horizontal one, we are analyzing the game as a whole or as parts, okay? And when, according to analyze this distribution, we are numbering the quadrants, and then I'm asking to participants, where do you think, according to the 13, is the gamification, okay? In quadrant number 1, number 2, number 3, or number 4, okay? So you write it in the chat, and when I say you go, you send it. So the question is, where is, according to this previous definition, where is gamification, okay? In quadrant 1, 2, 3, or 4. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, there is a number 4, but most of them are in number 2. Okay, that's right. So if we come back to the definition, if you have kept your screenshot, you'll see that the definition is talking about gaming, so is above, okay, in this zone, okay, and is talking of using only parts, okay. So we have gamification in the quadrant number 2, okay. And now this is the other quadrants. Okay, that's right. Here, as you see, this is the scheme of gamification according to the Didactics in 2011. Okay, so as you see, gaming as a whole is serious games, but as you know, a lot of times or frequently we use serious games as the same of gamification, but it could be different, okay? By the way, also, the playful design is not really gamification, okay? Because it's using playing, which is the difference between gaming and playing. It's an old difference. When we talk about gaming, we are talking about rules and about goals, okay? But however, when we talk about playing, it's free form. Usually we have no rules, and we have no specific goals, okay? This is the difference between gaming and playing, and so between gamification and playful design, okay? By the way, when we are talking about a whole design and playing, we refer to toys, okay? This is according to the definition of the Didactics. It's an interesting article because he has collected and analyzed a lot of definitions and text, and it's very useful to organize our ideas around gamification. Well, I know you know CAP. CAP in 2012 has also a very good idea. He was doing a very good difference for us between different types of gamification. One kind of gamification could be related to the structure and others related to content, okay? It's also, well, it's a good question if gamification is a technique or a method. Really, it's very similar to previous difference, okay? When we talk about gamification as a method, we are talking about a whole design of the course. And when we talk about gamification as a technique, we are using only elements or gamification in some activities, but not in the whole design, okay? That's right. And Unix also, well, it's a good helper also. Unix is connecting dynamics, aesthetics, and mechanics, okay? We are also, in which order? This is the problem. In which order is there, are we connecting dynamics and mechanics, okay? So we are asking also to our participants, write only the three letters, okay? As it was suggesting, in which order, MDA, DMA, etc., in which order do you think that CAP is ordering, in which order it is reconnecting these three actions, okay? So it could be with the initial letter only, okay? D, A, M, M, E, M, D, A, etc., etc. So just one, okay? 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, I think most of you are suggesting DMA, so dynamics, mechanics, aesthetics. We have the solution. Here is the solution. The solution is MDA. So mechanics, it's firstly, you have to insert or to consider mechanics, and mechanics produce dynamics, and that means interactions, actions, relationships, and dynamics produce aesthetics. Okay, aesthetics means what we are perceiving, what we are feeling. Emotions, for instance, are aesthetics. Okay, this is the model of Honeck, and it's also quite interesting to discuss or design gamification courses. Okay. Oh, it's true. You know, I talk always about a lot of other people's ideas. So some ideas of our production, okay? So gamification could be focusing or could be organized around three focuses. First one, learners. Second one, teachers. And third one, means. Some examples. About a learner. Learn-based strategies could be, for instance, asking people, our learners, researching, collecting data, create, invent some kind of contents, of collecting ideas, asking them for performance, asking them to do some kind of role playing, or giving them awards, or giving them options to select between several options as you have done before, okay? Means-based strategies are, for instance, giving media in other kind of stories, for instance, in social media. Or, for instance, the defamiliarization, that means, okay, but I'm not sure. It's quite, perhaps for some computers, it's a little small. Okay. For instance, with case studies could be very playful. Or, for instance, with self-making, sometimes teachers give very close contents and make their own contents by themselves, okay? Who've open opportunities. Usually in MOOCs, you know, contents are very closed, so we could have different opportunities, different ways to achieve the same goals, okay? Or we could also use apps, as Kahoot and a lot of other apps that could be very useful to interact with our learners. And the teacher-based strategy, that is, as I understand, our role very important, and tomorrow in the roundtable we are discussing about the role of teachers in by the way, I think the teachers has to reflect about their role. Okay, they could create competitions, invent stories, give also new contents with much more imagination, use dramatization, symbolism, simulation, or give options to students to organize their contents. Okay. What are you asking? Note. Those lines, I understand. Those lines, okay, that's right. Yes, I think our participants know this experiment. This is a Gestalt experiment. I don't know if everybody knows knows this experiment. Do you know it? Yes or no in the chat, please. Do you know this experiment? I'm finishing, okay? Yes, everybody knows it. Note, only you don't know it. It's very easy. We have the same lines. The two lines are the same, but changing end, okay? Changing the endings here and here, it seems that the second one is longer than the first one, okay? It's a classical experiment of the Gestalt. The Gestalt has studied the perceptions, okay, of bodies, okay? But I'm very sorry, because in this case it's not true. It's not true because the two lines are different. Okay, so I was lying. I'm very sorry, but I was lying to you. Okay, and well, what chick, I understand you. Yes, it's a desillusion for you. I understand, but perhaps you can explain you could give us a last message for all our participants. Yes, I think you could give us a last message. Just now. Yes, begin. Yes, and this is our last message for you. Remember, your students believe in you, so trust them. I think if we try to motivate and if we try to engage our students, their response will be better and better. And we are engaging and we are motivating them, okay? So please innovate, gamify, and create any kind of activities with much more participation of your students. See you and thank you very much. That's all.
Thank you, Tiberio. That was very good. It was really engaging for our audience for this afternoon, indeed. Very interactive session. Thanks for that. Let's have a minutes time for people who have some questions for you, maybe. Please use the chat because we keep on listening mode, and you can use the chat for posing some questions. A lot of thank yous, of course, and right so. Any questions for Tiberio at this moment?
If not tomorrow we could also have some discussion in the round table.
Yes, tomorrow we have a roundtable panel session at the same time, and Tiberio will be there in this panel. So if you have still questions, you can pose them also tomorrow. Then I would suggest that we continue with the program. Thank you very much, Tiberio. We go ahead with the program, and we go to the next presentation organized by Patricia Herrero and Ana Isabel González from University of Oviedo. It's about designing a MOOC course for promoting the active participation of European citizenship. And please, Anna and Patricia, the floor is yours.
Hello, everyone. My name is Sarah. I am a pedagogue now. I am pedagogue at the Teaching Innovation Center of the University of Oviedo. And the Teaching Innovation Center of the University of Oviedo is responsible for the management of online teaching through the virtual campus at the UNIOBIC platform for the development of MOOC courses, as well as action in the area of teaching innovation and the introduction of new technologies in education. UNIOBIC, the training platform developed by OpenupEd in 2017, is a training platform of the University of Oviedo through which offers open, online, and free training to all people interested in explaining their knowledge in specific fields. The contents of the courses are entirely developed by teachers from the University of Oviedo with guarantees their quality and updating, always attending to the focuses of interest demanded by the project. Currently, we have developed a total of 3 MOOCs, and we are working on the clinical autopsy MOOC, which we estimate will take place in June. The MOOC we have developed has been digital literacy for people at risk of social exclusion, Europe is You, a basic course about the European Union, and now is taking place the MOOC of the European Union as an agent of change. And Patricia are the responsible for the last 2 MOOCs, and in the following, they are going to give you a brief presentation about the project, the impact of Euroscepticism on the construction of Europe Citizenship. And this project includes the last 2 MOOCs that I have mentioned to you. And now Anna Patricia is going to have the representation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Well, good afternoon. I'm Patricia Herrero, a professor of the University of Oviedo, and I'm the director of the 2 MOOCs Sarah said. First of all, I want to apologize for my English and for our presentation. It's not the more didactic presentation we could do, but we thought it was better for you have a full idea of our works. Well, at first, for contextualization of our theme, we are going to talk about the origin of our European MOOC course. The European Commission has created the Europe for the Citizens program in order to promote the active participation of citizenship in the European democratic life. Within this program, Gijón, a city in the north of Spain, designed a project called Citizenship. In order to achieve the direct participation of citizenship, the project has focused on the potential offered by the MOOC courses as a tool that allows the students to acquire knowledge and change ideas. The development of the project includes 2 MOOC courses in collaboration with the University of Oviedo, to which we belong. The final goals are to promote a better understanding of the European Union, to increase tolerance and knowledge of the different European countries, and to create a European identity through the intervention of all the participants in the project.
The Europe for Citizens program is a European program managed by the executive agency in the field of education, audiovisual and culture. It has been promoted by the European Commission and is part of the Europe 2020 Global Strategy. It is directed to contribute to citizens' understanding of the European Union and to encourage the democratic participation at the European level. One part of this program is named Democratic Engagement and Civic Participation. This part aims at strengthening the general public's understanding of how European policies are shaped today. It also fosters the close involvement of civil society in European policy making.
In this context, the city of Gijón formulated the project, The Impact of Euroscepticism in the Construction of Europe, which has been called abbreviated Citizenship. This city created a consortium for the execution of the project with other cities such as Nuremberg, Genoa, and Alba Giulia, as well as a Finnish NGO, AIX, a Belgian think tank, KEPS, and the University of Oviedo.
The goal of this organization is to link citizens of 6 European cities to understand the European Union. We believe that this can produce a multiplier effect and territorial connection between different territorial areas, and finally, a common cooperation for building a better Europe. The concrete objectives of this project area are to provide knowledge about the institutional structure of the European Union, its history, its achievement, and its multi-level governance system. Promote a proactive understanding toward the origins, consequence, motivation, and possible solution of the rise of Euroscepticism and the effects that this may have on the European project. To focus from the local perspective on problems of the Union. To be aware of the effect that different national issues can bring for all, example the Brexit, and to contribute to the understanding of the European Union, its innate promotion of citizen participation, European citizenship identity, as well as tolerance and understanding of the different European states. For the achievement of such goals, different actions have been designed. First, various national events have been prepared, such as roundtables and the celebration of 5 citizen dialogues in the different European cities where the project partners are. They are transnational dialogues among citizens from different countries and invited representatives of various local, regional, national, and European institutions. Second, there is a platform online where one can generate feedback among all project participants, discussion, questions, suggestions, etc., for generating proactive activity in our citizens on European issues. Finally, in order to achieve the direct participation of citizens, the project has focused on the potential offered by the MOOC courses as a tool that allows its students to both acquire knowledge and exchange ideas. Therefore, we have designed 2 MOOC courses about the European Union with 2 calls each. The first MOOC course deals with basic issues of the European Union. It's what's called Europe is You basic course about the European Union. Its objective is to provide a basic knowledge about the history, institutions, achievement, and multi-level government of the European Union in order to provide the participants with the necessary tools to build with a critical spirit a well-founded idea about Europe today. It has the following content: past, present, and future of the European Union, citizenship of the European Union, knowing the European Union, the decision-making, how the European Union action on justice affects, or the day-to-day of the European Union. It has been implemented by the University of Oviedo and the European and International Affairs of the Gijón City Council.
The second course is the European Union as agent of change. Once the objectives of the first course have been achieved, the second course addresses the deepening of some of the European policies as well as the problems that arise in the future, the causes and possible ways of avoiding them. It aims to promote a discussion of the reason behind the current rise of the Euroscepticism in the European Union and its impact on the future of the European project. This second course is currently under development by the University of Oviedo through MOOCs, its MOOC platform. It results from the collaboration of the 6 project partners who have elaborated the basic contents of each of the 6 lessons. This course has the following contents: globalization and Euroscepticism, European pillar of social rights, immigration, equality, non-discrimination and violence, European growth and cohesion, and European election and European Union future.
For the development of the MOOCs, it was essential the support of the University of Oviedo, particularly their Innovation Center. For that reason, we want to take advantage of this webinar to publicly thank the staff of this for their collaboration. The initial project contemplated that the 2 MOOC courses programmed would be offered through UNIOBIX, the platform specifically developed for the University of Oviedo Innovation Center for the realization of MOOC courses. However, the technical difficulties of its implementation caused that the first edition of the first one was developed through the virtual campus of the University of Oviedo. For that, we use Moodle, the general platform of the University of Oviedo for online teaching. These courses were offered in Spanish and English in order to achieve the highest participation from different European countries, both for the students and from the public. With the same goal, the courses had multiple channels of communication and discussion.
For the courses, we proceeded to create two separate packages of knowledge structured in a close manner, covering the essential aspect for the knowledge of the subject to be treated. Original materials were produced, both written and audiovisual. This last one is available in the YouTube account of the citizenship project. In addition, in order to facilitate both generic and specific knowledge of the subject of each of the courses, we also collected information, documents, and audiovisual sources. These packages were proposed in 6 independent units so that the student could choose only those that were most useful for them. The University of Oviedo and the European and International Affairs Office of the Gijón City Council produced the first one. For the second one, each of the partners of the project was responsible for one of the 6 units. Its content was structured for multiple accesses with a basic written and audiovisual body and the support of additional documentation in both formats, in English and in Spanish.
The course is organized by weeks, and in weeks the materials of the new lesson are made available to the students. The lesson counts with the same structure as the platform, although with different denomination in each one of the 2 courses. Didactic need or objective. In that section, we briefly present the objective, contents, and activities that we have proposed to help the student to understand the contents of the lessons. Content OK ideas preceded by a video lesson. It contains the basic concepts in PDF format, which is necessary to understand for the objective of each lesson. The key ideas are closed with a section of additional contents. Activities or weekly challenge. In each lesson, we propose different types of activities designed to promote online learning through social networks and the Gijón Participa platform, and others that value the level of understanding of the content, so self-assessment quiz.
The 6 scheduled lessons of each course were developed during 6 consecutive weeks. In addition, at first there was a lapse for enrollment. The last, a chapter farewell, recapitulation and evaluation both of the students and of the course itself. Despite its self-institutional nature, on the scheduled dates, we offer constant support and feedback to the students who requested it. An interaction between the students themselves was also included through the interventions in different social networks, supervised in many cases by the course team. Every lesson has a participatory section. In this section, we propose tasks and activities related to the subject matter to be shared in social networks. There is a specific platform for general participation called Gijón Participates. In addition, to encourage participation, specific accounts were created in Facebook and Twitter. We created the Facebook group Citizenship MOOC course. In that group, the users of the course can be in continuous interaction with others. We will be able to solve doubts, contribute to opinions, share material about the course, etc. We also propose different participation activities through Twitter. We created different labels, one for each activity that we made through, and a generic one at European Affairs, and the hashtag CitizenMOOC. We also integrate Instagram as a tool to carry out some activities. We created a specific Instagram of the course at Gijón Europe page and a hashtag for each activity. Finally, of course, the course itself has diverse forums for participation and also for technical consultation.
The methodology of MOOC courses is, by definition, self-learning. With this objective, we try that the materials offered in each lesson facilitate the best possible the student can progress independently through the self-study. We have tried to present basic ideas in a simple and attractive way. In this way, students will easily understand the fundamental questions. Through the proposed activities, we try to stimulate their curiosity and the access to the additional contents. The methodology used combines the self-learning with guided learning. The control of the first course was carried out simultaneously from the didactic and technical point of view by the professors of the course and the members of the Innovation Center, respectively. A final grade jobs student also participates in its course in order to know the methodology of the MOOC courses on which her work was based. The second course is currently under development and has, in addition, the participation of the other partners of the citizenship project. From other point of view, the methodology also mixes learning from the materials provided by teachers with active learning viewed through the interaction of the participants. Starting from a mixture in the first of the MOOC courses programmed, the course materials have more weight. But in the second one, it's more important the information constituted among all the students.
In each lesson, there are a self-assessment questionnaire so that the student can check for himself the degree of assimilation and learning. In the first course, that is its only function, but in the second course, they represent the 30% of the evaluation. The questionnaires are formed by multiple choice questions. In any case, when they make their choice, they receive a feedback with an explanation of why it was the right answer or why it was not. By doing this, the evaluation itself helps to settle down the knowledge. In order to evaluate the acquirement of knowledge, the first MOOC course has a final questionnaire. For the second one, we have designed a peer-to-peer evaluation system. We ask the students to choose an issue and they think about in greater depth so they can expose it to the rest. Each one must write his reflection in no more than 2 pages long in English or Spanish and read and evaluate other 2 documents right in the same language. The students who passed the test were awarded a diploma certifying the completion of the course and the hours used in it. The first edition also offered a badge to keep in a digital backpack.
Talking about the result, we have observed differences depending on the platform of the course. The first edition of the first MOOC course was offered in the model platform of the University of Oviedo. In that edition, we observed a large majority of students of this university, but in the editions developed through UNIOBIX, the students are much more heterogeneous and come from different countries such as Mexico, Argentina, Italy, Finland, and Romania, as well as Spain. Some participation and debate have been achieved, although less than expected. In the part of the project that remains to be developed, it's expected to increase the participation and also the opening of the courses to more students. The participation of the student could be done through many social networks, as YouTube, Instagram, and the Gijón platform participates. However, in the first course, the students were more active in the forums of the course than in these networks. For this reason, in the second course, participation was limited to the discussion forum of the course and the project platform. Despite this, that new form of teaching has been implemented successfully, with the realization of various materials designed to provide information in the most effective way possible for students. With regard to the participating students, their perception of the course already carried out can be considered excellent, since they have evaluated it with a score of 9.3 about 10. The entities participating in the project will discuss these results electronically at the different stages of development of the general European project. In addition, they will be analyzed in face-to-face meetings to which the citizens are called.
In conclusion, with regard to the project, it has been achieved to respond to different strategic lines of the University of Oviedo. It represents an effort of knowledge transfer. It involves the integration of a university project with a European call with the participation of different entities and international organizations. It's developed with social agents in the Asturian, Spanish, and European field. It implies a new channel of dissemination of the research activity. Talking about the design and implementation, our first conclusion is that it is perfectly possible for a traditional professor to implement a MOOC course at the university, but the necessary effort may be too serious for an expert team. We consider a success to have been able to program and develop 2 MOOC courses, taking into account the null experience of the teachers in this type of teaching and the technical problems encountered for this implementation. Also, this would not have been possible without the constant support of the team of the Innovation Center of the university. Our last conclusions refer to students. We have observed that the great most of them are young people, between 20 and 25 years old. This may partly because many of them are university students, but we think that age is also a factor that influences the choice of digital pathways with respect to learning. Finally, and also in relation to the students, we have observed a low tendency to participate. We think it's necessary to make them aware about the importance of the implication in their own education. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Anna. Patricia, for this wonderful example you are presenting here on this MOOC, do you have maybe the link to the MOOC to be provided in the chat, maybe?
Okay. ¿Lo tienes tú? Aquí no tengo. ¿Cuál es?
All slides, of course, available.
Así es.
MOOCs. In MOOCs, you can find all the MOOCs. Se ponen MOOCs, se ponen MOOCs, ¿no? Entrar en internet, MOOCs.
Any questions from the participants for Anna, Patricia?
Es que lo escribes bien, pero no.
Puse la M. Puse en MOOCs platform.
We are looking for it. Yes.
Okay, great, thanks. No question. It was a very good presentation, and John,
Thank you.
What sort of activities we are asking students to do in the second course?
Sorry? I was looking for the link, and I couldn't pay attention to you, sorry.
No problem. There was a question on what sort of activities were you asking students to do in the second course?
In the second, bueno, si quieres. The fundamental question is through the forum. We asked them to explain. We formulate some question about each subject, and they must discuss about them through the forum. In the first MOOC, we have a lot of platforms. We mentioned YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and very few students do these activities. They always, I practice, can say always, only que solo contestaban, solo hacían las de answer in the forum. So we said only the forum.
Okay, very much. Any other questions?
A lot of platform to do the activities. So we decide to use only one. Ya la puse.
Okay. Well, I invite all to have a look at the website.
On the chat, you can find the link to the MOOCs, to the second course. The first link is the one with all the MOOCs that we have developed at the university, and the second link is the one of the second MOOC of European citizen. No. Well.
Thanks. I invite you to check this MOOC out there via this link. Thanks, Anna, Patricia, Sarah, for your contribution, and thank you very much. And that brings us to the final presentation for this afternoon by Dario Assante from UNINETTUNO. Welcome, Dario. He's going to talk about MOOCs for digital skills, smart education experience in the context of Industry 4.0. Hi, Dario. I'll put your slides on here, like this.
Okay.
Dario, the floor is yours.
Okay, thanks a lot, George. Hi, everybody. I'm Dario Assante. I'm professor at Faculty of Engineering at UNINETTUNO University, Italy. And in this presentation, I would like to show you some experiences that we are carrying out in different European projects in the area of Industry 4.0. Industry 4.0 is a general paradigm that has been introduced in the last 10 years due to the sudden advent of several digital technologies, from Internet of Things to cloud computing to augmented reality to advanced manufacturing, that didn't existed or were not so popular 10 years ago. And the advent and the massive diffusion of all these technologies and the integration of these technologies has introduced relevant changes in the companies nowadays, introducing the possibility of the new business opportunities. Several benefit by the economical point of view, but also the need of new skills and competencies for the staff involved in the companies Can you see the slides?
Yes, you can still see. Somebody's playing with the system.
Okay. Okay, fine. So the advent of the fourth industrial revolution has also introduced the need to retrain or train staff and managers of companies, the changes in the organization models of companies, and the advent of new jobs and the end of some old jobs. At European level, a lot of initiatives are started, mainly at national level. Here in the slides you can see a map, and in almost each European country there is a specific initiative, a governmental initiative, supporting the the diffusion of Industry 4.0. All these initiatives mainly support the digital transformation of companies, so mainly facilitate the acquisition of the equipment and sometimes also training. One aspect that at the moment is missing by this point of view is an unified approach at European level. And it's quite strange because when we talk about digital companies, we talk about processes that are not local or not national, but we talk about supply chain that of course are European, if not trans-European level. So it's quite strange to have national protocols, national standards, and national approaches. The same happens about training on Industry 4.0. There are the European qualification frameworks on Industry 4.0. It's possible to find that in each different country there is a different approach. In Germany, it seems they have started to define some qualification that are going to be quite popular at European level, but there isn't an European framework about that. And also there are no specific European initiatives funding the education in the on Industry 4.0. Something has been done in the Erasmus Plus program, that is the general program of the European Commission on education and training, is trying to see that in In several countries, national agency can decide what are the national priority. Usually, digital skills are not considered a priority, but if you scroll the list of the project that has been funded in this year in the Erasmus Plus program, you can find several about Industry 4.0. On the other hand, the Erasmus Plus project and if you want to say the lack of a standard framework on Industry 4.0 education is an opportunity to experiment new way of teaching and to work on the design of new program in this sector. UNINETTUNO in the last years has been involved in several projects on Industry 4.0. And I would like to show the main feature of these projects. All of them are MOOC-based approach. So the core of the project is the creation of open educational resources for training of learners. But in each of these projects, there is something new with respect to normal distance education, so it's worth to mention that. The fifth project that I would like to mention is an Erasmus Plus strategic partnership project called InnoResolve. The main goal of the project is to transfer the benefits of the digital revolution to the managers of the funding sector. So the goal is to make training activities on Industry 4.0, but specifically for the funding sector. It's a 2-year project, involves partners from Spain, Italy, Portugal, and Romania, and is coordinated by a Spanish Association of Funders. The two main outcomes of the project are a training course fully available online, developed in 5 languages. I would like to say that it's interesting because it's adopt holistic approach on Industry 4.0. So it's not just focused on technologies, but it's also focused on human resources. So what are the competencies and skills that companies should change in order to enter into the Industry 4.0, to adopt the Industry 4.0 model. And in particular, the training course is also based on PBL methodology. PBL stands for Project-Based Learning Methodology, and I will say something about that later. The second outcome of the project is the support guide, that is a document on Industry 4.0 that it provides an analysis of the state of art of Industry 4.0 at European level, an analysis of the state of art of the funding sector, and a collection of case studies in order to show in practice how to adopt the Industry 4.0 model. What is the most innovative aspect of such a project? Well, the PBL methodology, it's a common methodology used in presence and is based on the definition of some real problem and the involvement of a group of students that, through a discussion and mentored by a tutor, has to find a strategy to solve the problem. So the learning approach is based on the solution of a real problem. This is quite popular methodology in the last year and is commonly adopted in center and is commonly adopted in activities in presence because it's necessary to make a group of people that has to make a good interaction. Well, a specific request of the project was to adopt a PBL methodology in an e-learning environment, and discussing with a lot of colleagues also in other universities, in other training centers, it's I have never found a concrete example of use of PBL methodology at distance. So, if you have any example, please let me know in the chat, because it will be very interesting for me. In the project, we try to recreate through different activities the methodology for the adoption of the PBL methodology. So at first, we have physically visited some companies, and we have defined some problems, and we have mentored them to find a solution. So we are producing some example of use of the PBL methodology. And then our solution, in order to let people be in different places and interacting in an asynchronous way with the PBL methodology, was the creation of a forum where different problems are defined, and then people in such a way can interact asynchronously, and tutor can mentor them, trying to define a moment when it's possible to summarize all the comments and reach the solution that will be the end of the PBL exercises. It's something that we are still trying. The project is not concluded. Honestly, I don't know if the experiment will be successful or not. Of course, I hope yes, but it's something very interesting. Second project I would like to show is the IoT for SMEs project. It is again an Erasmus, 3 years Erasmus Plus strategic partnership project. I'm the coordinator of such a project involving partners from Italy, France, Germany, Lithuania, Portugal, and Spain. And the main aims of the project are to raise awareness about the IoT technology and qualifying professionals about their use. There is a huge list of outcomes. I have summarized the most relevant. We are going to conclude, we are in the last year of the project, so we're going to conclude it. We have 4 professional qualifications designed according to the ECRET model. That should be the European competent frameworks that should allow the transactional recognition of competencies. We have 4 training courses fully developed and deployed available at distance. We have also a collection of what we say the didactic demonstrators, that are different kinds of virtual labs that allow students to test in practice what they have got in the e-learning courses. We have a collection of interviews and showcases to experts. At the end of the project, we will have more than 50 interviews to experts collected in all the partner countries that intend to show in practice how to adopt IoT technologies or new technologies or new business models related to IoT. And we'll have what we call the IoT for SMEs handbook, that is a practical textbook that will help companies to enter in an easy way in the IoT world. What is new? Well, all the single outcomes individually are not something new, but from our point of view, the most innovative aspects is the integration of all the outcomes. So we are in an online environment, a mix of theoretical concepts in the video lessons, a real example collected in the interviews and case studies, and practical learning environment, that are the didactic demonstrators, and also a practical support, that is the project handbook. Another interesting project is a MERET project that is an Erasmus Plus Skills Sector Alliance project coordinated by a German Chamber of Commerce involving Germany, partners from Germany, Bulgaria, Italy, Slovakia, and Spain. And the main goal of this project is to design transnational curricula on mechatronics and metallurgy in order to facilitate the European mobility of workers in this sector. This is in such a way a long-term project because the activities during the project are preparatory to what partners want to do after its end. The project mainly is focused to the analysis of the curriculum of metallurgy and mechatronics at the European level, and to the definition of European curricula on mechatronics, and to design or training modules for the vet schools working on mechatronics and metallurgy. The aim is that to have at the end of the project the completed design of the curricula and the completed production of learning materials, and after it's end to start with some double or multiple degree programs in this sector. But what's the most innovative aspect of this project is probably the creation of an e-card. This e-card is an online tool that will be, let me say, in such a way a digital curriculum. It's an online tool where students can put all their experiences when it's possible to add badges related to training course and so on. So being a digital curriculum, this can be recognized by the participant organization, but the idea is to propose it to the European Commission as a tool for the in order to facilitate the recognition of competencies at European level, and so in order to facilitate the mobility of workers in the European labor market. Just to complete. Another project that we have is called the IOEQ project. Is the last one project that we have started. Is similar to some previous that I already presented. Involves partners from Italy, Germany, Greece, Lithuania, Portugal, and Spain. The main goals the main are to raise awareness about the digital transformation in the energy sector and to qualify professionals working in such sector. So we could say that IOE stands for Internet of Energy, that in such a way can be seen as a restriction of Internet of Things to the energy sector. For the same reason, several similarities to the previously presented IoT for SMEs project. In this case, we have designed some qualification according to the e-competence framework 3.0. That is the last competence framework designed by the European Commission, especially for the transnational recognition of digital competencies. So it's a new experience of what could be the most advanced European framework for the recognition of competencies. We'll have some training courses provided at distance in the sector of Internet of Energy. We'll have in this case some virtual labs, but also some remote labs. We'll have an handbook, and from May, we plan to start in 1 year a cycle of 18 webinars involving experts of the energy sector. What is new in this project? Well, on one side, like the IOE project, we have the integration of theoretical concept in video lessons, real examples of use of IOE technology in the webinars, practical activities in the virtual remote lab, fully online, and it's probably one of the first courses, if not first MOOC course specifically devoted to the energy sector with such approach. This is a concluded project. It's called In Cloud. I'm particularly proud of this project because it's the first one I have coordinated, involved partners from Italy, Germany, Greece, Portugal, Spain, and United Kingdom. The aim was to raise awareness about cloud technologies and services. It concluded 2 years ago, and I'm particularly proud of that because it has been awarded of both the Success Story Award and of the Good Practice Award in the Erasmus Plus portal. We have developed, of course, some qualifications based according to the EQUET model for the recognition of competencies, 4 e-learning courses on cloud technologies, each of them including video lessons and each of them available in 6 different languages. And the most innovative aspect of such project was the realization of what we call the in-cloud smart learning environment. Such environment was, it started like a joke, but it was an interesting experience that should be studied more, because it was an idea to use, try to use an adaptive learning tool in an e-learning environment. I mean, apart from, let me say, traditional e-learning programs that are designed with a different approach, then open educational resources are produced and deployed. The idea was that in vocational training there are a lot of different kind of learners with different needs in terms of available time, in terms of starting knowledge, in terms of working interests, and so on. And so just 4 standard training courses were not enough. So we wanted to design an online tool that was able to assess the profile of each different students according to different parameters and try to offer him a different customized learning path with different contents, with a different length, with different goals, in order to try to meet the different expectations of the different students. I said it was an initial study because the adaptive model behind the tool was quite easy, but it could be improved, and we are thinking to work again on such topic because it could be a challenging but innovative aspect in the design of next educational programs. The last project I would like to mention is well known to most of the participants. So probably it's not known just to partners that are not inside the EADTU network, because such project has been promoted and coordinated by EADTU. It's called SP project and aims to design a new form of training programs called short learning program. That will be an innovative way of training program that should, on one side, be more easily recognized by different European institutions, and on the other side should be a more flexible training program, so able to quickly respond and adapt to the labor market needs. Such a project is not specifically on digital skills, but since there will be different pilots, we are proposed as UNINETTUNO to realize a short learning program specifically on Industry 4.0. So it will be the first example of its kind, since the SLP model itself, its new methodology. So it will be interesting to test and to carry out pilot. So just to conclude, some open issues that probably will be discussed also tomorrow in the panel, related to the course design, and in particular on the MOOC-based course design. The first open question is how to make a design that meets the labor market needs, and at what level is necessary to follow the labor market needs instead of the own knowledge in the design of courses. The second open question is, what is the exact role of external stakeholders in the courses design? I forgot to mention, but from my point of view, one of the success points of all the previous projects that I listed is that in the partnership there is a good balance, most of cases 50-50% of presence of universities and partners coming from the business sector. So bringing into the project different point of view and different needs and different competencies. And the last but a really important open issue is how to measure the external impact of the training courses on the labor market.